Hey guys, good morning. Sorry I'm late. Afraid I got lost on the path of life.
I am back, finally. I have returned to making some content. Guys, I've been really busy for the last little while. My wife and I, we just had our first baby, a baby boy, and we couldn't be happier. Of course, it takes a lot of time out of your day when you're taking care of a newborn, and it is amazing. But anyway, let's talk about what is happening with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, of course, I'm not going to cover all the content that I missed just because it is old news at this point. I do want to let you guys know I'm very happy with what we've seen, whether it be the cover of the game, which I'm ecstatic about. I love it, the nostalgia, everything. In terms of material, what we saw, all of that is great. I have no complaints regarding that. But I wanted to talk about something different, something that I feel like not everybody is addressing, and at least not from what I've seen. I think it is a concern. Now, before you guys go in on me, please hear me out on the whole topic. I know Final Fantasy VII Remake is precious to all of us fans, and we are very defensive as if it is kind of like our own child, right? But we have to look at it objectively. So what we've seen so far is that they have some of the most beautiful graphics in this game, which is a great thing to have, right? Like, you want a beautiful game, you want the graphic fidelity to be very high, and they have achieved that. And then we have the gameplay, which honestly, I feel like nobody can really complain about the gameplay at this point. They've given us the option of turn-based. We also have the action RPG playstyle, which are both very good. Pretty much covers all bases where people were complaining about, oh, well, we need turn-based to be the kind of the primary way to play, or even a way to play. Now they have that. So luckily, whether you like the turn-based or whether you like to play the game the way that they've intended going forward with Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have those options. But one thing, and the only thing really that has me concerned as a fan, as a diehard Final Fantasy VII fan, is the story. Now hear me out, guys. I understand we have some great writers on there. We have just a great team overall, and I've talked about this in the past where they are some of the best staff members that you could have on a project like this. But even so, the challenges are still present. We have to remember that Midgar was only a small segment of the original story. Really, their priority will be making an engaging story that doesn't feel like filler. Because there was so little told in Midgar, and they're making a game based on Midgar, there's going to have to be a lot more content added in. And as I was saying, it has to flow organically. It cannot feel out of place or seem like it was forced in there just to add more content. Now, obviously, they are going to add a lot more. Like, this goes without saying. We know that there's going to be a ton more content. But my concerns are not so much, will there be enough content? My concern is, will the story flow organically? Does it make sense to be in there, or does it feel like they've really gone off track from the original game? Because we really do want that same feeling when we're talking about a story that is supposed to be close to the original to a degree, and is supposed to project the characters in a way that is still true to what Final Fantasy VII was. And that is kind of the promise that was made to us, that it would still feel like Final Fantasy VII and the story would still feel pretty close to what the original was. I personally would love to see more depth in backstories, talk about Avalanche, how they came to be, the trials that they went through before Cloud got there, and even have Cloud go through those trials while present in Avalanche. Now, we definitely need to know more about Barrett's backstory before, not like his whole Coral backstory. I'm talking about his backstory with Avalanche, coming to round up the group and the bunch to take on Shinra, right? We need to know a little more about Marlene, just kind of her growth as a character as well, because I do imagine this time around she will play a much bigger role than she did in the original. This game is going to be a big difference from what we originally were used to. This is going to really elaborate on the battle with Shinra. This is a Avalanche versus Shinra, a political game in many ways. Definitely need introduction of new characters such as soldiers, like we saw that one soldier on the bike. I believe many of my comments in my last video said it was Kunsil. I think I'm saying is right. So yeah, we do need the introduction of new characters. And speaking of new characters and just the soldier that we saw on the bike, see, he could very well be one of those guys that we do fight in the end. He could be a final boss battle. He could be the soldier that we face off with at the end of the game instead of it being Motorball. That's something that I could very well see, and that would kind of be more fitting than fighting Motorball. I mean, I know that was my original prediction, but I could see that being different this time around, because I still stand by what I said in the sense of there will not be a battle with Sephiroth, although they will talk about him, show him in flashbacks and whatever else there may be, but I definitely don't see him being one of the bosses that we fight along with Jenova. Now, I think this whole segment in Midgar could also take advantage of Aerith's heritage, a little about her abilities as an ancient. Now, we know that she has these, she talks about having these abilities and that she's able to hear the planet. Maybe we get a little bit of a glimpse of that and kind of what that sounds like in 2020 compared to what we heard back on Final Fantasy VII in 1997. These are all things that I would love to see, and I mean, there are so many different things they can do, and I know they will do. Obviously, exploring Tifa's relationship with Cloud and kind of the love triangle that happens inevitably between Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. So there's a lot they can do with this, and when I say I'm concerned, I mean it in a genuine way where I hope that they really take advantage of elaborating on the original story rather than just adding a bunch of new stuff that doesn't feel like it fits or it feels like filler. It needs to seem organic and in a lot of ways true to the original, as that was the promise to us that Final Fantasy VII would feel very much the same. So those are my thoughts on what I think of the story and what I think they should really do with the story going forward, and my hopes really. You guys can let me know in the comments, what do you guys want to see? Do you guys feel concerned at all about the way they may approach doing the story of Final Fantasy VII Remake? Let me know in the comments. As usual, guys, it has been great to talk to you guys about this game that I love so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Take care.